Mark Zuckerberg didn't give away $45 billion. He moved it into a company he still controls and saved himself billions in taxes while keeping full control of where that money goes. Back in 2015, Zuckerberg made headlines worldwide. The media went wild. The public praised him. He and his wife, Priscilla Chan, announced they would give away 99% of their Facebook shares, valued at around $45 billion. It sounded historic. People called it the donation of the century. But there was a catch that almost no one talked about. That money wasn't donated to a traditional charity. It wasn't sent to a nonprofit or a foundation. It was moved into an LLC, a limited liability company, one that Zuckerberg fully controls. One that has no legal obligation to donate, report, or even explain how the money is spent. The headline was inspiring. The reality? Not so much. In this video, we're unpacking why billionaires love charity, the tax trick that makes them richer. Behind every headline-grabbing donation is a strategy built to cut taxes, build influence, and still keep control. If you've always thought giving meant sacrifice, this might challenge everything you thought you knew. Stick around until the end, because what we reveal here will shift the way you look at billionaire generosity forever. Give Luxo-Life some love, and let's get started. The $45 billion illusion. When Zuckerberg made that announcement, it dominated the news. But almost no one asked the obvious question, where did the money actually go? The Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative wasn't set up as a nonprofit foundation. It was created as an LLC. And that changes everything. An LLC is a private business structure. It doesn't have to disclose anything publicly. It doesn't have to give away any percentage of its assets each year. And it doesn't have to prove it's benefiting the public in any way. In fact, it doesn't have to do anything charitable at all. So what looked like a massive donation was really a transfer, a shift from one pocket to another, from Facebook stock to an LLC that Zuckerberg still runs. It gave him full flexibility with how that money is used, whether it's invested, donated, or directed toward political goals. And because it was labeled as charity, he got applause instead of questions. Why LLCs changed the game entirely? Foundations have rules. They must spend a certain amount each year on charitable causes. They must report their activities. They're accountable to the IRS and to the public. But LLCs don't follow those rules. They operate like private businesses. There's no mandatory giving, no public disclosures, and zero obligation to prove impact. That freedom is exactly why more billionaires are choosing LLCs over traditional foundations. With an LLC, they can use the money however they want. Invest in startups, fund media outlets, back political campaigns, influence schools or cities or entire industries. And it's all done under the public-facing banner of philanthropy. No questions asked, no watchdogs allowed, just full autonomy with massive financial upside. Foundations versus LLCs, what the public doesn't realize. Most people don't see the difference. They hear the word charity and assume it means giving something away. But a foundation and an LLC are not the same. A foundation is a nonprofit. It has a mission. It's regulated. It can't just buy a company or donate to a political cause. An LLC can do all of that and more. And yet, the public lumps them together. To the average person, it all looks like generosity. But structurally, the difference is night and day. Foundations come with strings. LLCs come with freedom. Billionaires know that. And they take full advantage of it. The tax strategy hidden in plain sight. Here's where it gets really clever. Instead of donating cash, many billionaires donate stock. When that stock has gone up in value, which it usually has, they avoid capital gains tax. That means they skip the bill they would have paid if they sold it. On top of that, they get to write off the full market value of the stock as a charitable deduction. That one move alone can save them hundreds of millions in taxes overnight. But it doesn't stop there. If they're donating to an entity they control, like an LLC, that money never truly leaves their reach. It's just moved to a different bucket. Legally, they gave it away. Functionally, they're still holding the reins. And that's the genius of it. Why people still think it's generosity. The media rarely questions the details. They chase the headline. Billionaire pledges billions to charity. Sounds great. It feels good. It makes for an uplifting story. So no one asks where the money went. No one checks the structure. And the public moves on, believing something noble just happened. It's a powerful illusion, one that's fueled by perception, not facts. When people see a billionaire making a massive donation, they assume it's a selfless act. But the truth is often more complex and much more strategic. Buffett's philosophy explains the strategy. Warren Buffett once said it was better to give money to philanthropy than to let the government waste it, and that mindset is common among billionaires. They believe they know how to use money better than any public institution. So they build private vehicles like LLCs and foundations that let them steer their wealth where they want. They don't just want to avoid taxes, they want to direct the impact. They want to choose what causes matter, what solutions are funded, what innovations are prioritized. And they want to do it without interference. It's not about charity. It's about control. What the billionaire actually gets? To the public, it looks like a donation, but to the billionaire, it's so much more. They save on taxes. They control the narrative. They maintain power over how the money is used. They boost their reputation, and they still benefit from the money, either directly or through influence. It's a win on every level. Their money isn't gone, it's just moved. Their public image gets a boost, and they get to shape the future quietly behind the scenes. It's philanthropy without the sacrifice, and it's incredibly effective. This isn't just Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg gets the spotlight, but this playbook is used across the billionaire class. Bill and Melinda Gates structured their foundation to hold tens of billions while investing in sectors they also fund. Laureen Powell-Jobs runs the Emerson Collective, an LLC that mixes nonprofit work with private investments and media influence. Pierre Omidyar, the founder of eBay, does the same through the Omidyar network. The structure may vary, but the strategy is consistent. This isn't a trend, it's the new norm, and it's quietly reshaping the way power moves in modern society. The philanthropy paradox, doing good while doing well. To be clear, a lot of these organizations do real work. They fund vaccines, they build schools, they fight poverty. That's not fake. The impact is often real, but what's also real is how much the billionaire benefits. They gain social capital, they earn media goodwill, they shield themselves from criticism, and they build a legacy that's carefully curated. It's not a one-sided equation. They give, but they also receive. Who gets to decide what counts as good? Here's the deeper issue. When a billionaire funds a massive education initiative, they're not just donating, they're deciding what education should look like. When they fund global health efforts, they're choosing the solutions, the priorities, the outcomes. There's no public vote, no debate, no oversight, just wealth directing the agenda. That's fine when you agree with their views, but what happens when you don't? In a democracy, influence should be distributed. But this style of philanthropy centralizes it in the hands of a few. What this means for the rest of us, for the average person, giving is simple. You donate, you walk away, you hope it helps someone. You don't expect control or recognition. But for billionaires, the equation is different. They keep control. They get massive tax breaks. They build influence, and they often get praised for it. The system doesn't just reward wealth. It rewards those who understand how to structure that wealth. And that's a game most people never even get to play. The money doesn't leave, it just moves. The illusion is that the money disappears into charity. The reality is that it's still active just under a different name. It funds media outlets, think tanks, political campaigns, venture capital. The same money still shapes the world. But now it does so quietly, with less scrutiny. That's the brilliance of it. The money didn't leave, it just found a better suit. Charity isn't just kindness anymore. In this world, philanthropy isn't just about kindness. It's strategy, it's branding, it's insurance. A billionaire who funds hospitals becomes untouchable. A billionaire who supports schools becomes a civic hero. It's not just doing good, it's doing well. And it's all done legally. This is modern influence. Quiet, powerful, and often misunderstood. The real playbook? Here's what's really going on. The ultra-rich don't give like we give. They use trusts, LLCs, foundations, donor-advised funds. They donate assets, not cash. They avoid taxes. They keep control. And they get credit. It's not a scam, it's just smart. And unless you're watching closely, you'll miss how the game is played. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. The bottom line? Mark Zuckerberg didn't walk away from $45 billion. He repositioned it, and in doing so, he got tax breaks, kept control, and built a legacy that headlines could never fully explain. This isn't a one-off. It's a strategy. It's how power is preserved. And it's why so many billionaires love charity, because it works for them. If this shifted the way you think about billionaire charity, drop a comment below. Let us know what part stood out to you, or what you're still thinking about. We read everything, and this conversation matters. And if you're one of our Luxo lovers who's here for the truth behind the wealth, tap the like button so YouTube knows to show this to more people. Hit the notification bell so you never miss when we expose the next move the ultra-rich don't want you to see. Subscribe to Luxo-Life. Share this with someone who still thinks charity is always about giving. And stay locked in because we're just getting started. See you next time, Luxo lovers.